if I'm Arteta, I think I'm actually calling company and saying, look, we don't really want him. We want him to go on loan, but we don't want him. We want him to go back to you.
Mikel said this past week in a press conference that this is unsustainable. He's got 30 players here. Funny enough, we were laughing at Chelsea, I think, at the beginning of pre-season with the amount of players they had and the rumors that, during a match, some man are standing in the corridor trying to hear the team talk because there's too many man, bro. And it looks like we're in a similar position, but Arsenal are very aware and they want to try and, chop some names. What I'm going to do, I'm going to run through some names in this team.
Okay,
right?
Cool. Because I was going to bring it up myself.
I'm going to run through some names. We're going to avoid the obvious in terms of, we know Gabriel Jesus mentioned here because we know he's staying. We know Saliba because he signed a new contract. We're going to talk about these guys that are almost on the fence.
Yeah.
Are they going to stay at Arsenal or are they going to leave Arsenal? And even if when you talk about leave, you can talk about in a loan capacity if need. We're going to start with Thomas Partey. Is he staying? Is he leaving? We know what Arteta said. Arteta looks still, want to keep him and keep him involved. But we almost know if a bid of about 40 million comes in for Partey, at this stage, it might be too good to turn down. What do you think? Does Thomas Partey stay or go?
For me, right now, after seeing the way he played against Barcelona, short and sweet, it's got to be more north of 50 at this rate. I think he's just too good. Like there was like points in the Barcelona game where he gets the ball from Saliba or Gabriel and he immediately turns out and then we're on the front foot. Where maybe Declan Rice again still warming, it's not a slight on him, but he'll do the bounce pass back to the defense and then we've got to kind of refine the shape, refine the angle. I just think he's too important. This isn't El Neni. Again, I keep mentioning El Neni and I love the guy, but he was the best midfielder, arguably, in the Premier League, maybe top 5 in Europe, for large parts of the season. This isn't just any guy, what I mean? When he's playing well, there's very few better. So I just feel like, and this is, again, a bit of a transitional season with our midfield. And I just think having someone like him who can, get the rest and tag in will just be perfect. So again, me personally, it's got to be north of 50, and then I've got to be like, I wish you were like a couple years younger. I wish you were the age you were when we copped you, kind of thing. Yeah. But after that, I'd have to be like settle. But right now, stay, big stay in capital letters. You?
Yeah, man, it's a stay for me. We can't be signing Rice for 100 million and then this one goes out the door. They have to be there together. They have to play in tandem. Like I said, I would have even kept Xhaka, but But 100% Thomas Partey's stay for me. What about Kieran Tierney? We're just talking about him. Stay as well?
Stay. Simple. We've spoken about him. I don't even need to do it. Stay. I know some people might not agree, but stay. 100%. You?
Yeah, Arteta needs to keep hold of Kieran Tierney, man. Like I say, at least for one more year. I'm not a fan of like big upheaval, like hella man come in, hella man leave. Like
it's not Football Manager.
Yeah, it's not Football Manager. We have to keep a nice balance, and like I say, I still think Kieran Tierney's got a role to play within the team. Let's move on. Emile Smith Rowe. Keep, get rid, maybe a loan option.
He's too big for a loan now. If he's on the loan, he's on his way out. Like he's not that guy. Yeah, if he's on a loan thing, it's really dire. I think he's a stay. I think this Barca game, and again, there's some bias in there because we like the guy. Because if it was anyone else, maybe 20, 30 minutes, and then now you're saying he should stay. You know what I mean? But we know the quality that's there, which is why we want him to excel. I want him to stay. I think he should stay. I mean, again, even though we're talking about getting rid of players, we still need that depth in areas, and it's really great to see that we can take off Havertz and bring on Smith Rowe, and we can take off Smith Rowe and we can bring on Trossard, and we can bring on Fabio Vieira, and we can bring on Jorginho. You know what I mean? Like, these are good players. So yeah, he's another one on the roster who has to stay. We're not selling some guys at this moment. The team is remaining bloated.
Yeah, for me, Smith Rowe is a stay. This is a massive season. I keep saying it's a massive season for him because if he doesn't hit the ground running, if he doesn't get opportunity, then it might be as good. He might be as good as gone come next summer. But the boy has bags of talent, man. Like there's no way they can't find a place for him in this team. He should only see these stars coming in as a means to motivate him to really crack on and do well. And training is gonna be a fight, man. Like week to week training is gonna be a lot of people trying to show themselves to get into that squad for Saturday, let alone the starting 11. So, but with Smith Rowe, for me, he's got to stay.
He's similar to, sorry to interrupt you, to Tierney. He had some really good quotes coming out of the under 21s about not having a great season and more or less in not the same words having to buck up his ideas. So again, someone who looks like he's ready to fight and he's showing it with his actions.
Yeah. People, they want to be part of this. Like, look at a Reece Nelson. Like, Reece Nelson could have probably went to a lot of mid-table-ish at least clubs, starting positions in these clubs as well. That man said, "No, I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna fight for my place." And how often we see him is another question. But something's good is happening, and why wouldn't you want to be around that? Nicolas Pepe, keep, sell. What do we do with
Pepe? This one hurts a little bit, man. I just feel like I wish we could have had more opportunity. And I know he did play quite a bit when Arteta first came in, but that was chaos. Let's be real. But unfortunately, he's going to have to be a sell. He didn't come on the tour. No word of injury or anything like that. I don't expect to see him back in the squad when we get to play Monaco. So it's going to be a sell. I don't know for how much, but 140 bags off the books. I'm here for it. It's unfortunate. Wish him all the best.
Yeah, come the beginning of pre-season, I know me and you were both saying keep and look to kind of reintegrate him with the squad. Yeah, at this point, I've seen development within the squad and the players we've brought in and players we're still rumoured to bring in. Nicolas Pepe, I say sell, but I think the club are probably more in a remit of release. Like, I don't think if we can't sell him, I see Arsenal releasing him. And he might be, this kind of train we've been on with all these released players. Let's let players go from their contracts, letting players go for zero just to move and get them off our wage bill. He could be the last of that class, if you like. Him Cedric. Or Cedric. So, I definitely think, Arsenal will look at it and, in a matter of weeks, just make a decision. If no one's coming in for him, just release him. Like you said, 140k back in the wage coffers, and then we move. Nuno Tavares.
So. I mean, I didn't mind the guy. I thought he had the physical profile was amazing. I felt like he could have really been something. If we had able to get rid of the chaos and kind of hone him a bit, but it doesn't seem to be the case. He went on the under 21s, but I don't even think he's come back to Coney. I don't even think I've seen any pictures of him returning to Coney, so I think he's another one. Kind of reminds me of Guendouzi. I hope we can get decent bit of money for him because he hasn't been here long. I think he had one season, then went on loan, and then now this. So I reckon, just sell him. We've got enough.
Yeah, it's a sell. We've got more than enough left backs. He's played his best football last season at wing back for Marseille, and we ain't playing that. So I think his time is done. And again, this is just an example of how quickly the squad has evolved since the likes of signing Tavares 2 seasons ago. So I'm sorry, it's not gonna work out for him unless you get some epiphany and maybe left wing is where he ends up and he can challenge there, but I can't see them keeping him.
No, I think it's a straight sell, and hopefully a tidy flip, maybe make a couple mil.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Albert Sambi Lokonga.
I want you to go first.
What I would do with Lokonga, I would loan him. So you're leaving the club, but I'm loaning you, and I'm probably loaning you to Burnley. where you would work under Vincent Kompany, the man that you made your name off working with him at Anderlecht in Belgium. 3 starts for Crystal Palace last season on loan is poor form. I know the man that brought him in lost his job, and when Roy Hodgson took over, they didn't really see a use for him. So that's unfortunate, but they rated this guy so highly. It sounds like I've always been harsh with him. I just want to see what they saw. Like, I don't think he's proven himself as a 6. I don't think he's proven himself as an 8. So this is where I'm just like, where does he fit in? And you can just see the level of midfield has risen again this summer at Arsenal.
Yeah.
Like, there will be places in the squad. Jorginho, El Neni probably walk out the club next season, this summer. Yeah, they're not getting new contracts. So I see that's the end of them. So there will be place for a Lokonga. Yeah. If we can nail down what does this guy do best.
Yeah.
I mean, those names I mentioned, he would be playing a 6 ultimately, like they do, sort of thing. So if we can nail down what this guy can do by seeing him in the Premier League week in, week out for Burnley, then I'm prepared for Lokonga to stay if he makes the mark. But right now, my biggest question is, what is his best position? And the level of midfield is so high now that if failing a successful loan this season, it's go, it's be gone, like literally. But yeah, what's your thought?
Yeah, bro. I think you said the majority of it. I think if I'm Arteta, I think I'm actually calling Kompany and saying, look, we don't really want him. We want him to go on loan, but we don't want him. We want him to go back to you. Like, it might sound like a bit of a I'm doing you a favor vibe, but you know, maybe just gas it like we really like the player vibe, you know, blah blah blah. But I just think him going back to Burnley, going back to that guy and getting Prem experience, and you know, again, obviously him working to play, you know, week in, week out. Not to say it's a given. I just think that would be enough for us to see where he wants to, if he can come back and fit into our team, if he can play left 8 or 6. I think unfortunately there was because Partey got injured, and then it was just like, well, you're going to have to play that role, and I don't think that was the role he had in mind. And I think the confidence went, and then it was like he's not ready, and we thought he was captain of Anderlecht, and I mean, it's the Belgian league, like, you know, what are we expecting? Let's be real in terms of like him getting up to speed. But I think that would be the best for him. I think loan to Burnley or another Prem team. I don't know. Burnley would just be ideal, but to another Prem team again, and just really like integrate yourself in and show us what you can do at 6 or 8, and let's just be done with it.
Yeah. Well said. I think that's it. That's it for Sambi. We'll see, you know, what actually happens with him. We got a couple more. Let's rattle through the next 2.
Okay.
Cedric Soares. That's a sell from me.
It's a release from me. It's a release. a release yesterday. Get him out, man. Get him out. That guy loves a photo. Get him out.
Cedric's out the door. Marquinhos. Again, for me, it's a loan. It's a get out, but in terms of a loan, we'll see him maybe, you know, Championship again or lower end of the Premier League. What about for yourself?
Yeah, loan. I mean, he didn't do great at Norwich. I know he didn't really start a lot. He had a great debut, but didn't really do much after that. So it would be great to just get him into a team where you can kind of guarantee minutes to see what he's capable of, because he hasn't had that for quite a while. And that is not great for young players. I think he's 20, going 21 and stuff. So yeah, that's not great for someone his age and need to be playing football consistently. So whether he needs to take a step down to maybe like a lower Championship team or like a lower Premier League team who are just going to play him, and let's see what this guy's really made of, because the glimpses I see of him, I think he's all right. He's robust and stuff. So loan.
Balogun, I think we've spoken about, so we don't have to spend too much time on it. I think, like yourself, it might be more of a reluctant sale.
Yeah, reluctant sell. I think if it's not even this season, next season, again, unless he stayed and blew up the whole thing with 30 Premier League goals or something dumb like that, you know. But yeah, like a reluctant sell. It's just where we are as a club right now. I think it's best, and where he is as a player. So
Yeah. Like I was saying, hopefully you can get a buyback in there or something like
that.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be nice. Another man that went out on loan, which we may talk about in the next few weeks as well, Charlie Patino. He wants to play first team football. He's only 19, but obviously he's had the taste for it at this point. I would rather sell and buyback clause maybe. What do you think?
Yeah, sell, cheeky buyback, or like a percentage sell on fee or something like that. Nice juicy number if you sell him for cheap. I think he could definitely go to like a lower end championship team. Unfortunately, he didn't like set it alight, so you can't really command any mad fees. But I still think you could get a decent fee for him, and nice little clause of some sort for us to enjoy in the future potentially.
And last but not least, Mr. Robert Holding.
It's a sell.
I think it's if someone put a gun to your head, then it's a sell. Me personally, I said I think a couple of weeks ago on the pod, like his contract ends next season anyway.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm happy for him to stay and be gone next season. But if someone said right now, gun to your head, keep or sell, I'm sorry, Rob, you have to go. But
yeah, I think it is difficult because he's now got it's next season his contract's up. I don't think anyone's rushing for a Rob Holding unless you get like a good deal. And again, he's like 26, 27 now. He's still relative. He's been with us for time.
Yeah. So I think he's probably our longest player now that Xhaka's gone as well.
Yeah, so Wenger copped him in it. So so I think again, I think he could see out the season. He's like another good character to have. And he's just one of these guys who just seems really happy to be there, happy to have whatever role need be. So yeah.